Okay, I think we're live. Welcome everyone to Magic Myth and Middle Grade Books. I'm Van Hoang, and then maybe our
I'm Julie Abe. I'm Katie Zhao.
and then today we're going to talk about Magic Myth and Middle Grade Books. So before we start, can let's just take a moment to introduce ourselves and our books. So Julie, do you want to start? I think Julie's frozen, so maybe if Katie, you
I
want to
can
jump in.
start. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Zhao. I'm the author of the Dragon Warrior series, which is a Chinese-inspired middle grade mythology book that's sort of like Percy Jackson and the Olympians, but with Chinese mythology.
Okay, I can go next since my book kind of dovetails very smoothly from Katie's. I wrote Girl Giant and the Monkey King, which is very based on Vietnamese mythology as well. And it's about a girl who is super strong. She accidentally releases the Monkey King, and then she makes a deal with him to get rid of her problematic power and finds out that magic is more trouble than it's worth. And Julie, are you okay again? We can still hear you, I think. No, I guess not.
Oh no.
Oh no, we lost Julie. Julie, okay, you're back. We can see you. Okay.
Oh my
Julie,
God.
can you hear us? Oh no, I don't think she can hear us, but we can see her fine.
Should we introduce Julie?
Yeah.
Okay. Julie is the author of Eva Evergreen, Semi-Magical Witch, and the sequel, which I believe comes out in August, right? I'm really excited for it. It's anime inspired, really, really fun middle grade fantasy. Oh man.
This will be a fun tour through Julie's house.
We get to see everything. This was all
Yeah.
part of the plan, obviously.
Oh no, we lost her. Okay,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I think the Cursed Witch comes out in August, and
yeah.
the first book is just adorable. I love it.
Yeah.
It inspired me to read not the original, but what was that? It's like a Studio Ghibli movie with a witch. Oh my
Oh,
gosh, Kiki's Delivery
Kiki's
Service.
Delivery Service. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
inspired me to read that because I think Penguin just came out with the English translation, and it's really good. I enjoyed it, even though it was like published before I was born.
Wow. Yeah, I love Studio Ghibli so much. That explains why I love Julie's book so much.
Yeah,
It just it is like the perfect like middle grade fantasy, like whimsical anime inspired vibes.
yeah, definitely. So, what inspired you to write a book about Chinese mythology?
Well, I'm Chinese.
Of course,
and
yeah.
and yeah, growing up, I love stories about the Monkey King, and I'm sure
Mhm,
you can relate to this.
of course.
The Monkey King is such like a central figure to Chinese legend and mythology. And there was this one cartoon series called Journey to the West, which is based
Mhm.
off of like the classic Chinese tale Journey to the West. And I remember like watching and rewatching that series so much as a kid. I just couldn't get enough of it because it was just so funny and action packed, and it was very different from like the cartoons I would watch on like American networks, or the books that I would read in the library, and it made me feel very like close and powerful, or not powerful, but proud of my
Yeah.
Chinese heritage and of these powerful heroes in Chinese mythology. So I had that, and I was also heavily influenced by Percy Jackson, which I think a lot
Mhm.
of you know young millennials and slash Gen Zers were growing up. That was definitely one of my favorite series growing up. I just love the humor and like the infusion of Greek mythology, the action, the like incredible world building and really expansive cast. And so, um, yeah, that was pretty much that's pretty much what got me interested in writing something like the Dragon Warrior. I wanted to write something that really like fused these two kinds of stories that were my favorites as a kid, and I'd never seen something done like it before for a middle grade audience. So I was like, yeah, why not do it? And now we also have your book, which also has the Monkey King in it, and is also very funny and action packed. And so kids are being fed.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited. Yeah. Yeah, when I was like researching for my book, like there weren't that many books about the Monkey King like out there, and
Yeah.
now like there are more, which is like really exciting. So it's nice to see that like our mythology is also getting like its limelight. Hey Julie, you're back.
Hi,
Can
I'm
you
so
hear us now?
sorry.
Hi.
Hopefully everything's gonna work now.
Yay. So we introduced you kind of, but if you want to
Thank
like give
you.
your own introduction to yourself, like
Okay, I can do a really quick intro. I'm sorry I'm late. My Wi-Fi decided that it didn't want to work, and now hopefully I fed it some cookies, so now it's gonna work. I'm Julie Abe, author of Eva Evergreen, Semi-Magical Witch, and the sequel, Eva Evergreen and the Cursed Witch, which comes out August this year. It's about a girl with a pinch of magic who's trying to pass her witch's test, and if she doesn't pass it, she'll lose her powers forever. So unlike Katie and Vans, it's a second world fantasy. Second world fantasy where she's in a completely different world, but it's inspired by Japan.
yeah, very cute. I was telling everyone before this that you inspired me to read Kiki's Delivery Service right after I read your book, and it was like it's just so adorable.
And did you watch you've watched the movie already, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's like one of my favorite movies. That cat.
Yes. And I saw Kat Cho mentioned that it has the best snacks. I'm all about food, so you will find lots of food in my stories. So what
Yeah.
were you guys chatting about?
We were just talking about like how mythology played such a huge role in both of our books, and as we were growing up as well.
See, I'm learning from you because my current work in progress is based in this world. Um, so I'm gonna learn from both each.
Wow.
You know what's funny is that I typically write like in a secondary world. Like I much prefer like not doing research, I guess, and just like making up my own stuff. But like I don't
Really?
know why I was inspired to
Oh, I
write like a
didn't know
contemporary
that.
fantasy.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. Wait, Girl Giant is your debut, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But before
Yeah.
that, you'd written only secondary fantasy, or
Yeah.
interesting. Very cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Do you think you'll ever return to any of those
To like secondary fantasy. I
secondary
think like
fantasy books, or?
yeah, I think like I tend to gravitate more towards like, you know, a world that I just make up completely. So yeah, I think my next works would be like that. I think Julie froze
Oh
again.
no.
um, okay, let's.
Oh man.
Oh no, Julie.
I feel like the tough thing about like all these virtual events is that like my Wi-Fi cooperates with me usually, but then like right when I'm supposed to go live or something, it just
I
stops
know.
working every
Yeah,
time.
it's true.
So,
Like I
yeah.
normally don't have a lot of tech problems, but it's always like, as soon as we're about to go
Yeah.
live.
It's just like why?
Can you guys
Okay,
hear
we can
me?
talk.
I'm gonna try to
Yes, we
just
can.
do
Yeah, yeah.
audio.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, I'll just maybe my Wi-Fi will cooperate then.
Yeah. Okay, so we have our very first question. Introduce us to your main character. Are they magical or living in a magical world? Do they have special powers? Do they love their powers? And what is their relationship to magic? That's a long one. Do you want to go first, Katie?
Sure, I'll go first. So in the Dragon Warrior series, the main character is a 12-year-old girl named Farron. She's a warrior who lives in this secret warrior society in San Francisco's Chinatown called the Jade Society. And while she doesn't have like any magical powers herself, she does eventually gain possession of a very powerful magical weapon, which is the Monkey King's weapon in Chinese mythology. It's called the Rui Jingu Bang, or gold banded cudgel, as it's translated to in English. So that staff does give her, a lot of power that she didn't necessarily have when she was just a plain old regular warrior girl. And I totally forgot the rest of the question. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
What was the rest of it?
It was pretty long. It's so you answered, do they have special powers? Do they love their powers? And what is their
Okay.
relationship to magic?
Ooh, okay. So yes, I would definitely say Farron. Farron loves like the power that wielding the staff gives her, but she's also wise beyond her years in recognizing that that power, like in the wrong hands, could be used for evil. So she does her best to like be responsible with it. She doesn't really even want like this huge responsibility, but it's sort of like thrust upon her to be the one to wield this weapon and have this huge responsibility. And sorry, what was the last one?
What is their
so bad.
relationship? Yeah, what is their relationship to
Oh,
magic?
okay. Relationship and magic. Well, she lives in like the secret warrior society, and she's surrounded by magic and mythology. Um, yeah, I guess that's the best way to describe it. So while she's not, she doesn't possess any magical powers herself, like she knows about magic and its existence. She believes very strongly in magic and in the gods and in Chinese mythology.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, it's so funny how our books are so similar and like in very similar worlds.
That's why I was really excited to do this panel with you. I was like, oh, we can
Yeah.
talk about all things like Monkey King.
Yeah, I know. I'm like obsessed with the Monkey King.
Me too.
Okay, so I can go next. So Tom is my main character, and she's living in a contemporary world, but then she discovers that mythological monsters and gods exist. So her relationship to magic is that she actually has a superpower, but she hates it because it's very problematic. It makes living like a normal middle grade or normal middle school existence very hard because she's on the soccer team and because she's super strong. She can't really play without like literally hospitalizing someone, but which is why she tries to make a deal with a trickster god to get rid of her strength. And then she's like sort of shoved into this world that she didn't know existed, and has to solve all these problems on top of like the problems that she faces in her like real life. What about you, Julie? Do you want me to repeat the question? It was a long one. It was, introduce us to your main character. Are they magical or living?
I think I got it. As long as
Okay.
you guys.
Oh no, you're cutting out.
Oh.
So my character, Eva Evergreen, she is magical world, but she's only got a. Oh no! Oh no! Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear
Yes.
you now.
So she has some special powers, but it's kind of a weird relationship because she never feels like she has enough. So that's why the title semi-magical, and the relationship to her magic is kind of sort of different because it connects to her relationship with her mother. She wants the magic to be like her mother, because her mother is one of the most powerful witches in the realm, but Eva's the least powerful witch in the realm. So it's a lot of like family, but also connection with magic that makes it a little difficult for Eva as she learns to how to work with her relationship with that.
Yeah, that's great. I love how you tied in the magic with like the family relationship. Okay. I think next on our list we had a game. Are we still up for that, or?
Yeah. I have my water. I'm ready to go whenever.
I do have cookies.
Nice.
Okay, I think the game we wanted to play was where we give a clue or a secret fact about either us or our character, and the audience has to check to guess who it is. Okay, are we ready? I can go first if you guys need like some
Okay,
time
yeah,
to
I
think
might.
about it. Okay, so my first clue is, okay, I don't know how to say it without like giving it away. So this person, loves the beach and knows how to swim really well. So is it Tom or is it me?
Wait, are we supposed to guess or is the audience supposed to guess?
I think the audience, but you guys
Okay.
can also guess.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't know if I can see like audience guesses.
I don't think so either. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Okay, I'll guess.
Okay.
I'm going to guess that it's you.
It is me.
Yes.
Yes, I do. Yay. Yeah, I do love the beach and I do know how to swim really well. I like picked up lap swimming a couple years ago and it's like really addictive.
Rock swimming?
Lap swimming, sorry.
Oh, I was like, what's rock
Yeah, what's rock
swimming?
swimming? That sounds fun actually. Okay,
Okay.
Julie, do you want to go if we can hear you?
Hi.
Hi, you're back.
Can you guys see me okay?
Yes.
I moved somewhere else, so hopefully the internet is better, but we will
Okay.
keep my fingers crossed. So let's see. Well, okay. A game where we have to give a clue about a secret fact of one of our books. All right.
No. It's like you have to give a clue and we have to guess if it's about you or about your book.
Okay. All right. So about me or my books. Eva, or sorry, this person or character hates reading. Guesses? Any guesses?
I'm gonna guess that it's Eva.
Okay, that was a trick question. It was neither.
Oh,
Nice.
that's true because like Eva starts out at a bookstore. So
yeah, she loves books. She loves books. That came from me.
All right, Katie, your turn.
Okay. This person really loves choco pies.
Is it both?
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, do we want to play another round or should we move on to the next question?
What?
Next question is, what drew you to writing middle grade fantasy stories? And was there a person or experience that influenced you to write middle grade fantasy?
I can go first. So for me, like it was actually kind of a funny way that I sort of stumbled into writing middle grade because I drafted the Dragon Warrior back in I want to say like November 2017.
Oh my gosh.
Something like that. Yeah, it was for Nano. So I tried to get it out as fast as I could. But when I wrote it, I thought it was a YA because like I'd only ever written young adult novels before. And none of them went anywhere, but like for my practice novels, like they were all young adult, and I read primarily young adult. So I thought it was young adult, but then I got some feedback from like critique partners, and they pretty much all of them said this feels like middle grade to me. Like it feels like Percy Jackson, and Percy Jackson was one of the comp titles I used. And then I took a look at the manuscript, and like for like a week, I was like, nah, they can't be right. There's no way I can write middle grade. I thought like I was so like far removed from that time in my life that like I just didn't remember how to like write middle grade. But after taking some time to incorporate their feedback, I realized, yeah, they're right. This like thematically and with the humor and the heart of the story, it feels like it's middle grade. So that was like the very long way to how I got around to writing a middle grade fantasy. But I would say like when I think about the books that have influenced me most as a writer, they are middle grade because that was like the time in my life when I was in like elementary school, middle school, when I was the most carefree. I had like the least homework to do, so I would like go to the library and just like read so many books all the time. And like Percy Jackson and Septimus Heap, Sammy Keys, like all of these like different middle grade series. They were so formative to me as a reader and a writer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I could like even pinpoint one work or person as an inspiration to me. It was like
Just a
everyone.
lot.
Yeah, but I guess like Rick Riordan is probably like the biggest influence just because of like I don't know. I really really loved his series so much. It was probably my number one growing up.
Yeah. I think in the industry everyone calls him Uncle Rick.
Yeah, Uncle Rick.
I think I was like listening to a podcast and somebody said that middle grade is that age where they where kids stop learning to read and they start reading to learn. And I think that's very true because that's the age where, when you start to decide like what you're interested in or who you want to be or, that sort of stuff. What about you, Julie? What drew you to writing middle grade?
So kind of like Katie, I dabbled in like young adult, but when I thought about when I came up with the idea for Eva, like the voice felt so very middle grade. I was like, oh, okay. And this was after like being in young adult, or working towards writing young adult, I learned more about the industry and I was like, oh, okay, this is middle grade. But I think stories are things that inspired me, like Goose Girl by Shannon Hale. Natalie Lloyd, she writes very middle grade voice. So those are the sort of books that inspired me, where it's very magical but feels still real. And I wanted to sort of get that feeling in my books.
Yeah, definitely. It's so weird because I think before I really like dived into the middle grade world, like I also thought I wanted to be a YA author. And like the book before my practice book also was like YA, but when my agent like offered representation, she was like, "This feels very middle grade, and if we just change like the age of the characters, it could be very much middle grade." So then after she said that, I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." So then I just started reading like a ton of middle grade books, like of course, like I love middle grade as a child, but like I hadn't really read it as much like since I became an adult. But then I just read so much that I was like, oh, like I'm so in love with this world and like how it allows you to be like silly and whimsical, and it's just like a very magical age where like you're allowed to do so many things and explore so many ideas.
Katie, was Farron older when you first wrote her, or was she like 14-ish?
Yeah, no, she was 16. And like looking back on it now, I'm like, I feel like she would be considered like kind of immature for a 16-year-old. Like, I don't know. I feel like, the themes and everything would have felt very weird if like I tried to keep going with this book as a young adult.
So I just actually recently started reading The Dragon Warrior, and like it's so perfectly middle grade. It's hard for me to imagine it being young adult, but
Yeah.
I can see where like, but I think it's like nice to have like more mature middle grade.
Yeah, that's true too.
I wish there was that tween section.
I think it's amazing that we all like stumbled into writing middle grade.
That's kind of
But,
true,
like,
yeah.
both of you guys' books are so like for me they capture like the whimsy and like the humor and everything in the heart of middle grade so well that it's like, wow, I can't believe like it was like you guys started out in young adult.
Yeah, but you went back to young adult, right, Katie?
Yeah, and you did too.
Yeah.
I saw your deal announcement.
Yeah. So how did you go from middle grade back to young adult? Was it just like idea specific, or how did that?
Yeah, I would say that one, like the idea to me came to me as like it would be set in high school, and so like the voice and like the themes and everything are very, very different from my middle grade.
Yeah.
I think
Can we take a second to just like tell the audience what book you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see the cover. Do you have the cover? Do you have the arc?
The cover? Oh, I don't have it with me. I should have thought of that. But I do. I have a young adult thriller coming out in August. It's called How We Fall Apart, and it's pitched as Crazy Rich Asians meets One of Us is Lying, and it's set at this elite prep school where these four Asian American students who are like the elite of the school. They're like the top students. they end up being like pinned for the murder of their ex-best friend, who was like the very, very top student. And so, you know, from there it goes on into the murder mystery and everything. And it's like it's so different from like the Dragon Warrior that sometimes I'm just like, how did this happen? Like, where did this come from? But for me, I feel like I don't know. I really enjoy like I've always like enjoyed like different genres. Like I don't feel like I've ever been the kind of reader who's like, oh, I only enjoy reading fantasy or I only enjoy reading sci-fi. Like I feel like I almost go through like phases of genres that I enjoy. And so for me, I don't know, I just really wanted to write a young adult thriller. And it spoke to me as like it came to me as like a very Asian story, just because it's about these like students who are like very competitive about their grades, like murderously competitive, basically. And so to me, I just felt like I really, really wanted to write this. Yeah.
It sounds really good. Like it sounds
Thank you.
it does sound very thrilling. And the cover is really beautiful.
Yes, you guys need to check out Katie's social media and see the cover. It's gorgeous. It is perfect.
Julie, how did you come back to writing young adult?
Oh, so it was actually kind of the romance. Because you know, in like middle grade, it's tough to include romance. I've only read a few books with a stronger romance plot. Like Keep It Together, Keiko Carter, by Debbie Michiko Florence. And so I wanted to write a book with romance. And so I was thinking of like rival magic shop heirs and them being enemies, but also they were childhood best friends and they're stuck together for a road trip, and all of those ideas sort of meshed together to become a young adult. And I was like, well, this can't be middle grade. It's got romance. Even if like romance is something I'd like to see in middle grade nowadays. It's not as obviously strong of a plot. So that's why I ended up writing young adult.
Yeah.
So good.
It does. It sounds really cute.
Do you think you'll go back to trying young adult?
If I do, I think it would be like an upper young adult / adult crossover. Just because like so this is gonna sound so bad, but like you know how in middle grade nothing bad can happen to your characters, and like I really want to do bad things to my characters.
I don't think I'll be ready to read your book.
So yeah, like definitely upper young adult / adult.
That's a really good point, though. I feel like middle grade is like you just want to like protect your characters, right? So like you write like a very cute story, but then
hugs.
Yeah, like I want to be able to kill people, you know, that sort of stuff. And I can't do that in middle grade.
Quote for this session: I want to be able to kill people.
Yeah. Yeah, plus I read a lot of like YA and everyone is just doing like so well. Like I'm so intimidated. Like I don't think I would be able to like, you know, like meet you guys there. So it's like I'll just like
I would love a YA from you. I'm manifesting this now.
Yeah.
But you better fulfill your promises to us.
Yeah. I'll kill someone eventually, guys. Okay, what are some middle grade books that have influenced you in the past, and what are you looking forward to reading next? So I was prepared for this. I have like a whole list.
Okay. Please go first.
So like
I'm making that list right now.
Yeah. So books that have influenced me in the past are The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. I reread that like a lot, and then The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane, or basically anything by Kate DiCamillo. Like she just has like very like subtly like magical realism, but you're just like very immersed in all of her worlds. And then do you guys know about this book Dealing with Dragons? It's pretty old. Yeah, by Patricia C. Red. Yeah, like that was like my first like parody fantasy read, and I don't know, it just always stuck with me that like the main character who's the princess can like subvert all your expectations. And then next on my list are The Girl and the Ghost by Hannah Alcaf. Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston, and Maya and the Rising Dark by Rena Barron, and of course Eva Evergreen and the Cursed Witch by Julie Abe. Yeah. What about you guys?
Okay, you want to go first?
Yeah, I don't have a whole list, but I feel like I've read like so much good middle grade, especially in like the past few years. So like everything from the Rick Riordan Presents imprint, Arusha, let's see, what else? Tristan Strong, the books by Carlos Hernandez, but I'm forgetting the titles.
Yeah, I
right
think it's like
now.
Sal and Gabby.
Yeah.
Sal and Gabby, Break the
The
Universe.
Sal and Gabby series.
Yeah.
That book has like the best voice.
It's so funny. I love it. Yeah, and then Gracie Kim's The Last Fallen Star, I know comes out on Tuesday, I think. I'm really excited for that one. Amari and the Night Brothers, I think I read that one like in January when it released, and like the pitch is perfect. It's like Men in Black meets Artemis Fowl, and like I feel like Artemis Fowl was like one of those middle grade series that I grew up like it was a staple for me growing up. And I've never read anything like that even gave me like similar vibes, but that one gave me such like perfect Artemis Fowl vibes. Such a fan. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like in the past few years, like my love for middle grade has really been revived, and it's just so great getting to see like marginalized authors like get to tell our stories and tell about our joy, our cultures, and everyone is so great at writing and so funny. I'm like, I'm the imposter here.
No.
So for my list is pretty similar to the both of you. I'm actually in the middle of reading Amari and the Night Brothers, and I'm also reading Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant, which is young adult, and I'm reading the Dragon Warrior. What else? Books that I read in the past that I love. The Girl Giant and the Monkey King.
Yay!
So I didn't know Van when I first read the book, and from the first page, like it starts out in a soccer practice, and like Tom is like, she's too strong, right? I'm sorry, I'm like pitching the book to the author, but she's like too strong, and she's like, I'm not allowed to kick the ball because I'm gonna just like knock everything out of the field, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so interesting. I just like couldn't stop reading from page 1. So I really loved Girl Giant.
Thank
and
you.
I recommend it everywhere I go. And some going in the past. Okay, I want to talk about like a really not old but old, like the classics in a way, the old classics. I want to say like there's modern classics now that I love, but talking about the old classics. Like Matilda, stories like you're like, blast from the past,
bringing me back,
or like The Secret Garden or things like that. Those are some middle grades that are like, I feel like I try to capture that sort of feeling, but also have it more diverse in the books I read and the books I write going forward.
Yeah, I definitely see that with your stories. Like you're bringing back all these classics, but like in a modern way.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
I feel like Eva Evergreen has like the very like classic, like whimsical, fantastical feel of middle grade, but it feels modernized and definitely more diverse.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think this is our very last question. What is your favorite part about writing middle grade?
I can go first, I think, for that. My favorite part of middle grade is that it's just like, it's like drinking a cup of hot chocolate or just feeling so warm and cozy. Then I feel like young adult, like, it's not quite the same. Or like adult, definitely not the same. Like I love that. And I think it's something that's so very middle grade and warm and makes me so happy to write, that I enjoy it so much. And then when I want to feel like a little snarky and all that, I go to young adult. Open up the young adult document.
Yeah. What about you, Katie?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that. Also, Julie, I think that's probably the best like way I've heard middle grade described, like as like a cup of warm hot chocolate. That's yeah. Honestly, that is what it is. Like when I read like a really good middle grade, I just feel like filled from the inside, just with like such comfort and happy feelings.
Yeah.
For me, the best part of writing middle grade is probably just like I feel like I can just be silly. I guess that's the best way to put it. I feel like young adult takes itself pretty seriously. Like there are young adults stories that are very funny. But when I think of like what I want to write for young adult, it's like murder at an elite prep school. It's like very very like serious and sometimes dark stuff. But middle grade is like where I go for just to like be happy and have fun. But what I also like about middle grade is that while obviously like you don't go as dark as young adult, like you can still talk to kids about serious things that happen, talk to them about like loss of loved ones or grief, just what it's like to grow up, I guess. But you can do it in a way that packages it as more like heartfelt and sort of funny too, just to like balance it all out. So yeah, I think that's what I love most about middle grade is that like yeah, you can use it to talk to kids about serious themes, but at the same time you can also be like just super silly and in a way that young adult doesn't really let you.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, Katie. That was my favorite part is that you can be as silly as you want. Like nobody will stop you from,
Yeah.
being yeah. Yeah. All right. I think we have some audience questions next.
Cool.
So if your characters met at a party, what would they think of each other and what would they be doing together? Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
I think Eva, being Eva, she would just like love everyone completely and be like,
think she would.
"Let's be friends, guys." I'll be like, "But I don't know you." Brad will be like,
Yeah.
"I don't know you either."
Yeah, I think Tom is like very shy and introverted, so she would definitely need a friend like Eva to, like guide her into society, I guess.
I feel like Farron would get along with Tom and Ava really well. I don't know. I just like Farron is just like very headstrong, but at the same time, she's also like a very warm person. So
Yeah.
I think she would be pretty friendly.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they would go save the world together.
Yes, that's what they would do. They'd be like, "Let's leave now and go save the world."
I guess like Farron, she would be because like in the Jade Society, everyone's like considering her as an outcast. Like, um, having people that would like Tom or like Eva that would welcome her in, then she'd be like,
Yeah,
she would love them too.
you're right. You're right.
Next question. Oh, what do you have in common with your characters? Hmm.
I am also very shy and introverted.
What about you, Katie?
I don't have much in common with Farron. I feel like because she's very like headstrong and like powerful, and she's not very good with studies, but she's very good at like learning how to fight or training to be a warrior. And I'm not like physically coordinated at all, so I kind of, I mean, I feel like we both have like a very strong sense of like loyalty though, so I think that's where we're pretty similar. We don't take ourselves too seriously, so that's another way that we're very similar.
Oh, I like that. For me and Eva, I would say we have some sort of a bit of the same personality. But I feel like I actually put a lot of myself in, say, other characters in Eva Evergreen. Like, I'm a little bit Ember, I'm a little bit Charlotte. Like, I feel like one character, I'm not necessarily just like Eva. That's what sometimes people think of me when they're like, oh, this is your book. So that's you. I'm
Yeah.
like, a little bit, but not quite.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I have more in common with the mother in my book.
She knows what's going on. She's
Yeah.
Yeah.
she lays down the law.
Yeah. Okay, next question. What about the industry would you change if you could? So like one thing I struggled with is that like if you're an author of color, you kind of have to start out writing a book about like that deals with some sort of racism, you know, like you can never just dive into like an adventure story. Like you kind of have to address your minority status somehow, like whether your book deals with racism or not. Like I feel like that's always subconsciously there. Like there's always a subtext. And I wish that we, first of all, that maybe we didn't have to deal with that in real life and therefore in our books, but I wish that we could also just have like characters who go on adventures and have fun and save the world, and you know they don't have to deal with that kind of stuff.
I agree. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, I was just gonna add, like, I feel like, yeah, for me it's hard because I think those stories are very important, and it's important that we like talk about racism. But I don't like how once you're in this industry, it's almost like the gatekeepers or people just expect you to like constantly engage with these themes, and it's very taxing. It's very exhausting. I actually saw this tweet the other day from Angie Thomas, where Angie said like her being on these panels and always being asked to talk about racism, like for her, like obviously it's like very, very taxing because The Hate You Give came out what 4 years ago now, like 4 years of that, like I can't even imagine, you know. So I really hope that the industry will value like our just like very fun, happy stories as much as they value like stories where we talk about racism. And just in general, like pay us better, and like give us career longevity, because it's one thing to like be like, okay, we're gonna let you have one book deal, but then I feel like for authors of color, it's more rare to just immediately like, or to like be so, just like set in this career, like in the industry, that like you know that you can get the next book deal.
I want our books to not be a trend based on it being diverse. That's the thing that frustrates me about the industry. And the thing is, like, Eva is, it's in a secondary world. She's not dealing with the contemporary issues of racism in her world. But for me, outside of the book, of course, readers see it as Japanese lens, which is true, and it naturally has, like, from where I was born or from how I was growing up, like it has that sort of combined into the story. But I met someone from the industry a while back who said, "I wish your book was more Japanese." And I said, "Oh, okay." she was not a minority, and I think having to have that someone inspecting your book to see how Japanese or how Asian it is or how diverse it is incredibly taxing and not the right lens that the industry should be doing. And then to Katie's point, like I wish the industry would develop writers more in terms for a long career, not just 1 or 2 book series, and see that these authors are meant to be someone that they should invest in long term.
Yeah, definitely.
That was intense.
Yeah, it was. This is a lighter question. What's your writing fuel, and do you tend towards certain snacks, music shows to get in the writing mood?
I can answer this first. Okay, so I love my snacks. I love my music. I actually don't watch shows, but I'll talk about snacks and music. So for snacks, they're like all the way over there, but I had to move, so I'm like in my kitchen now with better internet. But like it depends on the book, true too. But I love my tortilla chips. I used to never eat while I write. But now I just like need the fuel. And then music. Oh, sorry. And also I love like Pocky or anything that, ice cream. And then music. For Eva, I listen to a lot of like beautiful, like almost like Ghibli as music.
Yeah.
But for for like my young adult, I've listened to more like upbeat, listen to like Taylor Swift and like more romantic music. For my work in progress, I'm listening to more like not intense, but like more indie sort of vibes. So like I feel like it does really help. Whether like food or like music, like it's fun to
You guys
have
create
something that changes the mood.
Yeah. Do you guys create playlists for each book, like before you start writing them?
Not before I start writing. Like as I write, like I add it to my YouTube playlist. I'm like, this matches.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about you guys?
I used to never like create playlists, but I just got into it recently because the next work is more like a historical fantasy. So I started like adding really old songs and oldies to a playlist, and like it really does help. Like when you play it, kind of like triggers your brain to like get into that world. I'm gonna start doing that from now on.
I want to read this. I can't wait to read this. Wait, is it adult?
Is it?
Yeah, I think that's the one that's like.
It's adult?
Yeah, it's like adult / upper YA.
Oh, so you're killing people. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh
no, now you'll know the ending. I'm just kidding.
What about you, Katie?
Honestly, for me, I feel like coffee is my main fuel. Not to be like stereotypical writer, but I don't know. For me, like
no, it's true.
like once I have my caffeine, I feel like I'm awake and I can finally put down coherent words. As for like music, for the Dragon Warrior, I listened to, there was like this one playlist on YouTube. It was just called like epic fantasy music or something, but there was like there was like a bunch of like just really great songs from soundtracks. Like it was just like a lot of like random fantasy. Like there was some Lord of the Rings, and then there was some like animated movie music, like some music from Coco, I think. And then that horse movie Spirit. I don't know if you guys have seen it. The soundtrack is so good.
Yeah, it has a really good soundtrack. Like
good.
No one's ever heard of it. They're like, a horse movie. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah. It always gets me in like the perfect middle grade, like action mood. And for snacks, I don't know. I don't think I like usually will eat snacks as I'm writing, just because like when I'm really in the zone, like I don't exist anymore. Like food doesn't exist. Nothing exists to me. Yeah. But if I'm not in the zone yet, then yeah, I'll usually like reach for like some, I don't know, Cheez-Its, or if I'm feeling something healthier, like some sliced apples or something.
Yeah, I actually was reading about how like when you think or like when you use your brain, you actually burn a lot more calories than you think, and you do need that like snack fuel or whatever. So like, and I do get hungry. Yeah, and I do get hungry when I'm writing. Like when I write more, I get hungry faster. So
I need motivation sometimes to sit myself down and write or edit. Well, it's mostly editing. Like drafting I can do fine, but when it's editing, I'm like, I need my box of Pocky or like my bowl of tortilla chips, and then I'll start editing.
You have like a system where it's like, okay, if you edit like 5 pages, you get to eat 1 Pocky stick.
I don't have that much control. So like when they're gone, then I have to really get started.
Yeah. Are you morninglarks or night owls when it comes to writing? So I used to be a morning lark, but like I would wake up like at 5 a.m. to write before I had to like go into work and stuff. But that's like from a swimming background. Like you're just used to getting up really early to go swimming. But now that I have a baby, I'm more of a night owl. Like I tend to write as soon as he goes to bed or something. What about you guys?
Katie, you write like all day. Okay?
The dream.
So I can do usually either morning or night, but the middle of the day for some reason, unless I'm like really, really into the book, and that's very rare for me. Like it's the middle of the day. I don't know what it is about it. I just really hate like late mornings, early afternoons. Like if we could just take that out of the whole day, like I would be totally happy with that.
Is it the sun? Do you like?
It doesn't have vibes.
I'm just a vampire. That's what it is. Yeah.
So funny. So I can't write during the day because of the day job and family. And so at night, like after everyone else is asleep, that's when I write. So I'm definitely a night owl.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very common for writers to just be night owls or just creators in general. There's just something about like, I think like
Yes.
your brain is pretty tired, right? So you're not usually like you'll have an idea and instead of your brain immediately going like that's bad, like you're like maybe we could go somewhere with that.
Yes, yeah,
Sometimes
that's a
it's
great
good,
idea.
but
You're too tired to think reasonably.
Next
I
thing you're
honestly
like,
think that's what it is.
Yeah.
so funny. Ah.
Oh, sorry. What, if anything, can fans and supporters do to help you guys get your name and your work seen more to help your success?
This is a interesting. Fran's coming out with all these like interesting questions. Fran, I love them. I would say just word of mouth, doing things like reviews, whether it's on, even if you buy from independent bookstores, if you do reviews on Amazon or Goodreads or places that like readers will go to look and sort of see like, oh, what kind of book should I read next? That's a great place. Suggesting, recommending it to your library for them to purchase it. Even just like when someone's like, I don't know what book to read, and be like, here, you gotta read Katie's latest book. Like stuff like that, I think really helps. Word of mouth.
Yeah, I agree. Just personally, I would really love some like fan art or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think word of mouth is more powerful than people like give it credit for because like I don't know, when I was a teen reader, like I would get so excited about the books I loved that like every one of my reader friends would know about it and I would literally shove these books at them and be like, you're gonna read this now and then we're gonna discuss. And I feel like, you know, if you have enough like readers like that, then I mean it's pretty powerful, yeah, for getting the message across.
Is there a book or show that you would love to have a crossover with your book or characters? Whoa.
I think it'd be cool if we like had all our characters in one show.
Yes.
Just like,
Oh my gosh.
amazing.
It would be so
amazing.
chaotic.
The beginning, there's going to be only one Monkey King, so
I know.
there's
Yeah.
some synergy there already. What about you guys? What's like a dream crossover?
I think I would love to have my character go into the world of Spirited Away. Like I love that movie. It's like one of my favorite movies. And I think all of my work is influenced somehow by that movie. And so it'd be interesting to see like how Tom reacts if she was like shoved into the spirit world.
I love that movie.
I know.
Have you guys read The Epic Crush of Jeannie Lo? It's a young adult contemporary fantasy. It also has like the Monkey King.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it. It's on my list.
I think, man, I think you really like
the
it.
cover in my eye.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's to me like I read the Epic Crush of Jeannie Lo book and then I read first and then I read Girl Giant after. And to me, like I almost feel like Girl Giant is like the middle grade version of that book, or Epic Crush is like the young adult version of Girl Giant. So,
that's so funny.
I think it would be great to put like Girl Giant and then Epic Crush of Jeannie Lo and then the Dragon Warrior, like have that crossover.
Yeah.
It would be very chaotic but very fun.
Yeah. What non-bookish things have you been consuming and loving lately?
Croissant.
I can go. Nice.
Sorry, keep going.
I just started watching WandaVision like this morning. It's
I
pretty
keep
good so
hearing about
far. Yeah. I'm only like 3 episodes in, but like I love like superhero movies, so I'm really excited for that. Oh, and last night I finally watched Soul, the Pixar movie, and it made me feel so many things. It was so good.
I just finished a show called The Girls in Corfu. Have you guys heard of it? It's like a BBC. It's like based on this memoir of this family that just they're from Britain, but they just like randomly moved to the Greek island of Corfu, and it's like hilarious and the oldest son is a writer, and every time he complains about being a writer, it's like I just relate like 110%.
This is me.
Yeah.
I know who you are.
Yeah.
What non-bookish thing? I had some egg tarts from this bakery called 85 Degrees this morning. They're really good. So there is this anime called Kimetsu no Yaiba. It's called Dragon Slayer in English.
I've heard of it,
and I love the characters. Kat, yes, it's me. I just can't stay away from food. So Kimetsu no Yaiba has a movie that's coming out soon. Or sorry, it's out in Japan. And my friends that have watched it said it's like amazing. They've cried, they've watched it again, and now I really want to watch it. And so it's in theaters in the US right now. But it's going to be digitally streamed maybe in a month or two. So that's what I can't wait for the movie, but I really recommend the anime itself. Because that's like part one. Movie is like part 1.5, and then it goes on to the rest of the anime series. But I really recommend Kimetsu no Yaiba if you like characters with a heart of gold and really beautiful, beautiful action scenes.
Ew. I'm adding that to my list. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I'll read it out. How do you define silliness in middle grade compared to other audiences? And would you say that writing it brings out a side in you and exclusive to middle grade that you wouldn't in writing for other audiences?
So I almost feel like middle grade silliness to me, like since we were just talking about anime, it reminds me of anime silliness in a way, just because like something very serious will be happening, right? Like maybe there's like a battle moment, but then like one of the characters might just have like a funny one-liner, and like I don't know if that would necessarily fly in young adult. I don't think it would. That's the way I always think about middle grade humor. It's just like something serious can be happening, but you can still like balance it out or just like have like a random silly moment, and it's not seen as like this is like really immature. It's just middle grade.
Yeah.
Yes, that exactly. There's an author who I love, Jonathan Stroud. He wrote the Lockwood series.
I love that series.
He has the best humor. It'll be an intense, like crazy, like they're running for their lives or like trying to get out alive. And he'll have this one funny line, and it doesn't kill the mood of the intensity.
Yeah,
but it's just a perfect like little moment of humor that I think is so middle grade. And in terms of silliness for middle grade, for me writing, it's tough. Like it's a fine line of acting like too young or too old that I still kind of find myself trying to find as I write like humor in middle grade.
Yeah.
I
think so. Like my main characters tend to be like very serious and they take themselves very seriously. And I think like having a silly character to sort of like balance that out, like, it works really well for me. And like, I just like really love that I can have like one character that can just be like as silly as they want. And like, that will, like balance the whole story. Sorry, I kind of rambled there. Yeah. Okay, like we're almost done. So do you guys have anything else they want to, or do we want to talk about like where everyone can find us online and stuff?
Sure. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Julie Abe Books. But I'm mostly on Instagram now because you can post videos of stuff and it's fun. I just found Reels. Yay.
Yay.
What about you too?
Yeah, my Instagram and Twitter are both I am Van Hoang. And then website is authorvanhoang.com. But yes, I also prefer Instagram for like the pretty pictures.
Yeah, I also prefer Instagram. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at KT Zhao author. And my website is www.ktzhao.com.
Yay. This was so fun, you guys.
Yeah,
thank you all. I'm sorry for all my technical difficulties, but I'm glad I'm here at the end. So
yeah.
Thank you all, and thank you, Kat, for doing the back end of all the video
thank you, Kat.
Thank you, Kat.